For this digital citizenship lesson, being aware of what you share is very important. We share a lot of information whenever we go online, sometimes on purpose, sometimes not. So our essential question for today is, how can you protect your privacy when you are online? Here are our learning objectives. We'll reflect on the concept of privacy, including what we feel comfortable sharing and with which people. We'll analyze different ways that advertisers collect information about users to send them targeted ads. And finally, we'll identify strategies for protecting their privacy, including opting out of specific features and analyzing app or website privacy policies. Let's take a look at this meme. What do you think? Do you think it's funny? Even though mind reading might seem like a really cool power for someone to have, it actually would be pretty scary for everyone else. We all have thoughts that we don't intend or want others to know. These are our private thoughts, and would probably feel embarrassed or vulnerable if someone else knew them. Not sharing our private thoughts is an example of privacy, which is protection from being observed or tracked by others. This includes protection from other people as well as groups of people like companies, the government, or the general public. Legally, we all have certain rights related to privacy. Can you think of examples of things that people might want to keep private, either from everyone or from specific people? Some things might include not sharing your true thoughts because you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. Like maybe you secretly don't like Grandma's famous pumpkin pie. They could also include not sharing with your parents certain things you talk about with your best friend, certain personal preferences you wouldn't want others to know. People have different boundaries when it comes to what they share with others. Some people feel comfortable sharing a lot with others, while others don't share a lot with anyone, even their close family. When you're online, privacy becomes more complicated. You can choose the websites you go to and what information you decide to share with others, like on social media. But depending on the device, app, or website you're using, your words and actions are often being collected and tracked. Today, we're going to talk about how you can better understand what information is being collected and used about you online, particularly by companies. Has anyone seen a screen like this before? What is it? It is a sign-up screen for Snapchat, for those of you that don't know, which is an app that many of us know about. When someone signs up for and uses Snapchat, what information do you think we're sharing? And who are we sharing it with? Some information that they take are name, phone number, and birthday. The snaps or content that we create, which might be shared with Snapchat or with friends. Things you browse when you're using the app, and your location. All of these things get shared with Snapchat, and the first way to protect your information is to understand what companies are collecting about you. If there's something that we don't want companies or others to know about, we shouldn't provide it or post it. Companies get information about you by tracking what you do. One way they do this is by using cookies, which sound like delicious treats, but they are actually small text files placed on your device by the sites you visit that collect information about your device and your activity. It allows companies to collect the information, and then they use it to learn your preferences so they can make recommendations of things you'll like and make it easier for you to use their site. And they also may sell this information to advertisers and other companies. If you are not comfortable with this kind of tracking, you can actually turn cookies off in your browser settings. You can usually find the settings in the privacy settings. You should know that this might affect your browsing experience, as the cookies do help the website automatically know helpful things about you, like your location and preferences. But they don't always need to know that information. Let's talk about another tip for protecting your privacy. What do these screens show? What could you use them for? These are settings screens. Most apps have settings you can adjust, and these are screenshots of these settings that you can find in Snapchat. Within an app settings, there are usually privacy settings, which are choices a website or app gives you about what information is visible to others and third parties. You can usually use these settings to opt out of some of the ways that the app shows and shares your data. Oops, wrong way. Opting out means choosing to not participate in something. Another way you can protect your privacy is by looking at what you're agreeing to when you sign up. Reviewing the app's privacy settings and opting out of any sharing options that you're not comfortable with is a really good way to protect your privacy. The privacy policy is a legal document that an app or website must provide and that describes what user information they collect and how they use it. The terms of service describe the rules that the company and users must obey when they use an app. These documents are usually pretty long and sometimes difficult to understand because they're legal agreements that users opt into. If you're checking it out, remember the word ask when you're looking at the privacy policy. A stands for what will be accessed. S stands for what will be shared with other people or companies. And K, what could be known about me if I use these. By finding out these pieces of information, we can make an informed decision about using the app or opting out of certain kinds of tracking. So in this privacy policy, we notice from Snapchat that the information that they collect are in three basic categories: information you choose to give us, information we get when you use our services, and information we get from third parties. So a lot of information is shared back and forth between companies. So you have to make sure that what you're putting on there is something that you truly want them to know. Again, that third tip for protecting your privacy is reviewing the privacy policy and terms of service and using Ask to analyze how using the app will affect your privacy. We care about everyone's privacy, so make sure that you care about your privacy.